moving on up. That's right. They're clapping along over there. All right. Many of us remember that iconic TV moment when the Jeffersons moved from the burbs in Queens to their Upper East Side skyscraper in New York City. It's America's #1 location for high-rise living, and Houston is catching on. From luxury amenities to stunning views and the ease to lock and leave, there are many reasons people are moving up. Whether you choose to rent or buy in the sky, Amy Bernstein with Bernstein Realty joins us with things to consider. And in a few minutes, she has some advice on property taxes. Yeah, due in a couple of weeks, and who should protest and why. All right, high-rise living. We know New York City, Chicago, very famous for it because they're getting a maximum amount of people on a small footprint. The history of Houston high-rises, the very first Houston high-rise was the Rossonium in 1911. It had 7 floors.
Oh my God!
7 floors.
How do you know? You are the 911 of it all.
Had to find it, but then of course, and then things started catching on. But it was located at Fannin and McKinney, by the way. We've had such a boom right now. The 80s and 90s had somewhat of a boom. We had Greenway Plaza. We had what's the one? 4 Leaf Towers.
Houston House.
Yeah, Houston House.
Yes.
All of those, and then we've come back around to it. Why do you think that is?
You know, it's interesting. The high-rise market has really boomed in Houston, like you're saying, and I think it's for several reasons. I think a lot of times people are living longer, and it's such an easy way to live.
No yard to mow.
No yard to mow, no worry when you travel. You just lock the door and go, and if something were to happen, the building has a lookout for you, and mainly just all the conveniences.
Yeah, you can be close to downtown. We're taking a look at some of these pictures here. You can be in the loop again if you want to, right?
Yes.
That communal living kind of makes it a little bit easier. But you also, have the tall ceilings, the coffee bars, the social events that you can have. You can live alone but feel like you're not alone, which is why a lot of people kind of like that too, especially if they're single.
Exactly right. People love it. And the pool features, a lot of these buildings have pools, a lot of these buildings have exercise rooms. It is nice to go downstairs and get a cup of coffee and see some of your neighbors,
movie theaters,
party rooms,
golf simulator course.
Yes.
I mean, you name it, they have it. And then London House is a new one out there now that's interesting as well.
The London House is awesome because it is a mid-rise, and so it's a little bit easier on the monthly maintenance fee.
Like a club.
It looks like a club, and when you walk in Randall Davis built it, and quite frankly, he gets his inspiration from different travels, and this is just, the lobby is unlike any lobby you'll see, but it's really unique. You can even get a drink at the bar that they keep in the first floor when you come home from work, but it really is nice. And again, the mid-rise factor of it means that it doesn't have all the amenities that some of the full-service high-rises have, and as such, the monthly maintenance fee is a little bit less.
Yeah, you also get those beautiful views that we talk about.
Gorgeous, gorgeous views.
Yeah, which is nice. And then reduced flooding concerns. Okay, this is like the sunrise from my balcony, so I get that sunrise that comes in. That sunrise before is what the sunrise in the summer. That's the sunrise in the winter, so it changes. You get like a different kind of landscape.
Talk about peaceful in the beginning or the end of the day, whether you're a view of the sunrise or the sunset.
Yeah.
It's just so beautiful to enjoy the outdoors like that on some of the balconies.
And the reduced flooding concern.
You know, it's funny. After a major flood in Houston, our phones go crazy with people wanting high rises.
Wow.
It is really amazing. They're done.
Yeah.
Either they flooded once before, or if it's the second time, they're like, take me up into the sky. That's what I did, actually.
We've been seeing that, and we used to see a lot of senior centers that were just kind of 1, 2, 3-story senior centers that are now luxury senior high-rises.
Yes.
You have to be 50, 55 plus to even move in.
Yes, and another big trend today are the hotel high-rise concepts. And they're certainly coming up all over, not all over Houston.
But there's a Hotel Zaza in Memorial City.
Hotel Zaza, the Four Seasons has one, the Ritz-Carlton has one going up, the St. Regis has one going up.
So that's the case where you check in but you don't leave.
You can do room service.
Yeah.
You can use the pool for the hotel or the pool that's specified for the condominiums and the residents. And it really is a new concept that's hit Houston pretty hard in a specific area.
Yeah.
So,
all right. When it comes to rent versus buy, you have to like really sit down and put pen to paper and figure it out, because if you rent, a lot of these luxury high rises, you're paying a house payment. I mean, you've seen some pretty crazy wild prices out there on some of these.
You know, that is something that comes into conversation almost immediately when someone wants to buy a high-rise, is please tell me what the monthly expenses are. But if you sit down and you do a spreadsheet of what your household owning a single-family home, and then you look at a high-rise, you know, it's very, very close. It may not be exact, and there's certain figures, there's certain amenities that you can't put a number on. Security and things like that.
That you can still have a pool without taking care of a pool,
yes,
right? Doing those things. However, you know, going back to some of the rents, people are like, gosh, that rent for that place is almost like a house payment somewhere else. And it's like, yeah, but if you're renting, you're not paying property taxes, and we'll get to that in a minute. If you're renting, you're not paying property taxes in the traditional way of paying.
You're 100% right. If you look at owning and then you look at renting, you know, you'll see that you get all the amenities when you're a renter, and you don't have to pay the property taxes, you don't have to pay a mortgage, and you don't have to pay the monthly maintenance fee. So a lot of people like that idea of moving in. The difference is you lease it versus own it, which you may not be able to stay in the same place forever, and you know, you don't really want to make as many improvements because it's not yours. But certainly the cost of ownership is a lot less. I mean, the cost of living is a lot
but you don't
less.
have the equity. And now here's the thing: when someone says, "No, I want equity," I'm going to buy it. You buy it, but unlike most homes, there can be other, like single-family homes, there are other fees that you better be prepared for, and one of them could be assessments, right?
Yes. So that's the, you know, that's the dirty word, right? Special assessments. But a lot of times, if the property is properly run and the building is properly run, then they're hopefully collecting enough on the monthly so that when they need something major, like an elevator overhaul or a generator, there may not be a special assessment, or it may not be something as bad as you envisioned if enough was being collected along the way. But certainly special assessment happen, especially in the older buildings. Some of these older buildings find that the plumbing may need to be redone, or some of the electrical, or it doesn't have a generator.
And when we say assessment, if that needs those things that are common things for the whole building, everybody gets charged a certain amount.
Everybody gets charged a certain amount based on the square footage of the unit they own.
All right. Then there's construction rules that might be a little different than there might be inside of a house, because if you go into the older buildings, the advantage is you can just knock everything out and start over and design whatever you want. But
there are so many older buildings in Houston that are being revitalized right now, and people are moving in at a much less dollar per square foot to buy, and then they're remodeling their unit. There are certain restrictions, right? You can only, because you're living around other residents, you have to be cognizant of, you can only start at a certain time, and you have to end at a certain time to give comfort to the other residents and to be respectful of them.
Because there's always someone taking a nap. I don't care.
Always someone taking a nap.
It's 10 a.m. Don't care. It's 11. I'm taking a nap.
Yes. The other day I heard somebody in my building, and it was pound, pound, pound around 11 o'clock, and I was home. It was a Thursday, and I was thinking, who is that making all the noise? And I thought, Amy, you can't, you know, you have no reason to wonder.
Because you did that once. That's right. That's right. All right. Let me round out with, what you can do is help people decide, is this really high-rise living really what you want? What's the history of this building? How has it been before? All that type of stuff. But let's move on to property taxes, because you still will pay property taxes in a high-rise. But right now,
if you own.
If you own it, yes. Right now, a lot of people are looking at their property taxes and they're going, wow, and they want to challenge them. Who should consider challenging them? And you're running out of time.
Everybody. Everybody.
Okay.
It's a free opportunity to challenge what you're going to pay for your taxes. Our taxes are due at the end of the year. Our assessments come out now. So you are if you own a home, you will be sent something that says what Harris County sees your home is worth, and that's what you're going to pay your taxes on at the end of the year. So you have an opportunity to protest those taxes no later than approximately May 15th.
Who has a good case for protesting? Is it if something happened to your house since then they don't know about, some kind of damage that makes it not quite the value of something, or if you're in a neighborhood where you have the original 1960s bungalow, but there's like these huge homes that went up on the side of you, and you're kind of being rolled into that that for property tax
Absolutely. So the people that have the best opportunity to protest are, if you know any comparable sales similar to yours that sold in your area within in the previous year. So you can only look, this year, you can only look at 2025 sales. They won't use anything in 2026. So if something sold February of 2026, they will not use it, only 2025. If you feel that you have damage to your house and the county doesn't know about it, you need to bring pictures, because they will want to see pictures. They won't just take your word for it.
Yeah.
You have to show photos. If you have deferred maintenance, absolutely bring in photos to show them. You go down or you do it online, and if they're not satisfied with what they give you, then you have the right to go down and make a protest.
Yeah.
Both are free opportunities to plead your case. You can call a local realtor to give you comparable sales in the neighborhood, and most agents would be more than happy to help you and provide that data and talk you through it.
Yeah, to look at what the evaluation is that they're basing it on versus what you think you could really get for your house.
Yes.
Sometimes there's a wide divide on that.
So there's actually a market value and an assessed value.
Oh, okay.
So you are being taxed on your assessed value, which if you've homesteaded your home, the assessed value can't go up any more than 10%.
Yeah.
But if the market value goes up, still protest.
All right. For more information on Bernstein Realty and the services offered in real estate, visit greatdayhouston.com and we will connect you.